Well, air travel is fairly normal today following yesterday's FAA outage. Today, there have been more than 1,300 flight delays or cancellations, but yesterday more than 10,000 flights were delayed or canceled. A corrupt file appeared to have caused the outage of the safety software leading to the nationwide grounding of planes. Washington Post's Natalie Compton is joining us live to discuss the outage and passengers' rights. Natalie, thanks for checking in. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, let's start with this. This software is antiquated, 30 years old. The Transportation Secretary said the fix is supposed to be 6 years off. He'd like to speed that up. What do you know about that process?
I thought the interesting thing when talking to airline analysts was that they weren't necessarily shocked by this outlier experience of having all these flights grounded. They were really concerned about the fact that this technology has not been caught up to date. It seemed like everyone I talked to knew that the FAA is behind when it comes to their technology.
Well, let's put the focus on the traveler then. This wasn't the airline's fault, right? But tell us what the airlines are required to do in situations where there is a massive outage like this.
I think travelers are probably confused after seeing the Southwest meltdown just a couple of weeks ago when they saw that Southwest was offering people thousands of miles, hundreds of dollars in these vouchers, and lots of things like reimbursements for hotels and whatnot. The difference between the Southwest situation and this FAA one is what you said. It's not the airline's fault that air traffic control failed and had to ground these flights. So you're not entitled to as much compensation as you would if it was something that the airline did themselves. So if your flight was canceled and you decided not to take what you were rebooked on, you are entitled to a full refund. And that also goes for if you were significantly delayed because of those issues.
Well, that's what the law requires, right? What can you do, or what would you advise the traveler to do to try to, get the airlines to sort of play along? Because really, it's in their best interest. As a traveler, you don't necessarily care or understand why this all happened, but wouldn't it behoove them to try to make things right?
Right. Right now, the consumer confidence in the air travel industry is pretty low. So you would think it would be a good PR move for airlines to meet travelers halfway and offer things that maybe they're not required to, but should as an act of good faith. So there's really no harm in asking for things like, can you cover my meal at the airport? I've been sitting here for X number of hours, or will you cover this hotel because I got stranded? Even if they're not required to, there's a chance that they might, and you can always ask for miles. But something that has come up in the recent year is that the Department of Transportation recently launched this customer service dashboard. So if people Google DOT customer service dashboard, you can actually see exactly what each airline has promised to give travelers in the case that airlines do mess up. So pointing to something like that and saying, do you think I could get a voucher for a hotel or a rental car might be helpful in persuading that customer service agent.
I guess it's good to go in armed with information. Let me ask you a sort of a separate but related question here. Airlines, the airfares really seem to be very high looking at, maybe spring break travel here. Sort of counterintuitive when, all of this chaos is going on. What's happening with airfares right now?
It seems like because demand is surging, that the costs of every flight that you actually want is going up as well. My advice to people is if you have something like a spring break trip in mind, set a price alert with Google Flights or Skyscanner with the dates that you're looking at, or if you can be flexible on your dates, set a price alert to the destination you're trying to go to. There still are deals out there, but when they know that a lot of people are trying to go to Florida during spring break, they're going to charge as much as they can to get some profit back.
Little supply and demand. Any last minute advice before we let you go?
Right now, what every travel expert is saying is if you have something very important like your wedding, which people have missed because of these travel meltdowns, or the start of a very expensive cruise, do not fly into that destination the day before or the day of those important events. Make sure you're giving yourself a lot of buffer time flying in 2 days early, have a relaxing start of those trips, because you never know what's going to happen. And in the cases of these mass cancellations and delays, there's a chance the airline might not be able to rebook you that day, and you could miss these really epic failures. So
that'll necessitate another conversation with the boss. Natalie Compton with the Washington Post. Thanks for the insight tonight.
Thanks for having me.
All right.